Parent Entrepreneur Power, conversation number 221.
Parent Entrepreneur Power.
Wait, what? It's Power!
This is the podcast for parents juggling the tough choices required for success in business while putting family first. Hi, I'm Mary Catherine Johnson, and I share the ups and downs and dirty truths of profits and potty training while chatting with successful parent entrepreneurs from all walks of life. Are you powered up? Hey there, Power Parents. Guess who? Mary Catherine Johnson. And I have a very, very special guest with me today. Someone very near and dear to my heart. And I get to share him with you. And, we were just chatting earlier. And as we were chatting, I just said, we both looked at each other. We've got to do this on a podcast. We've got to talk about this stuff on a podcast because it's things that your kids might be thinking about, and if they're not old enough yet, they will be thinking about in the future. So without any more chatter on my end, let me introduce you to Mr. Riley Johnson. Hello there.
Hi.
And just in case you're curious, we are also doing video so you can see him as well. But I just had to bring Riley on. Okay, so Riley, obviously tell everyone who you are, how old you are, why you're on this show, and really kind of give us an idea of what prompted us to actually want to jump on this interview for the podcast.
Well, I'm her son. I'm her second son out of two, and I'm 16 years old. And what really started this want to interview me was I'm doing a what's called Twitch, which is an online streaming website, and I've been streaming for quite a while now on Twitch, and I've just started to get a follower base. I have about 20 followers on this Twitch. I've been learning a lot of things from that. And all the things that I've been learning really prompted us to have this interview.
So when you say you've been streaming on Twitch for quite a while, what's quite a while?
About a couple months now. I have to say about 4 to 5 months.
And I hear you in your room all of a sudden start talking to yourself. So then I know you're on Twitch.
Yeah.
So, but when you talked about doing this streaming, and there were a couple of things that as we were driving in the car today that actually prompted this. Do you remember what that was?
Yeah, I do. It was the things that I learned that was how to really be mature online, and what to really look for when you're trying to start something like streaming on Twitch, starting a community, or even starting a business. You can translate the same things to starting a business.
Yes. So let's bring it back to that, because I know you've had some pretty specific experiences recently. And start off with telling everyone, because they may not know, that you actually have a business and what that business is and what you do.
I have a business. It's animating for people. I'm a freelance animator, and I animate certain little gifts for people for their business. Just whatever they really need.
Yeah. So when you say animate, people may think you're making, The Incredibles movie, right? So
Yeah.
tell them a little bit more about what you mean by animate things and gifs.
Well, it's like little 2D animations of like a little character popping onto the screen, little 2D character popping onto the screen, or walking onto the screen, or doing whatever. Just little 2D simple animations like that. Nice little simple things to bring in the audience,
Yeah, exactly. Just to liven things up a bit, right?
Yeah.
And we had to, we had to give a little shout out to my good friend Joey Kornman, right?
Yeah.
Because he owns School of Motion, and we want to give a shout out to him because he's the one that kind of got you started in this whole gig, right?
Well, yeah, that and other people on YouTube and stuff. Yeah.
Right. But I mean, more formally, as more of a business kind of idea and giving you the skills and the confidence to do this for hire.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah. So thank you, Joey. You're amazing.
yeah,
Okay, so you're doing animations. You obviously did animations with for me for messenger funnels. So I was kind of your guinea pig, right?
hmm
And then you actually got your first client. So we're going to
yeah.
give another shout out here in a second, but tell us a little bit more about this first client and what you got to do for him.
Well, he wanted me to do an animation for his daughter's first birthday. Very special first birthday. And he wanted me to animate something for him, and yeah, I did.
Um, okay, so you animated something for his daughter's first birthday. Tell a little bit more about what that was.
Well, it was a what's called a
Well, I
rainbow
choked to death.
baby. Yeah, it's what's called a rainbow baby, which is a baby after a stillbirth. Um, and that was very special. Obviously, you're always really excited, after that happens. So he wanted me to do an animation for him of like the story behind what happened, which is they got together, they had the baby, but it was a stillbirth. But then the rainbow happened, and the baby, and then the new daughter came out, and yeah, everyone's really happy. And it was a really cute stick figure little animation that I did.
It's so cute. And so we have to give a shout out to Mr. Neil Reichel because he also took a plunge and said, said, hey, did you say something about your son maybe doing some animations? And that started this whole process. And now you're actually animating his daughter's first birthday. It's like a cute little video, what, like 30 seconds, 40 seconds?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So, all right. So, Power Parents, the reason I brought Riley on was really our conversation went into a direction that I really thought that most parents would value because we're trying to build these businesses and raise our families at the same time. And we really don't understand, we might not understand the impact of everything that we're doing. And so I wanted to bring Riley on to show not just my impact on him, but being around this environment, being around the world of online streaming and social media and all of that, and then also how that can translate into business and how your kids are going to think of the world differently and they're going to actually be able to create a different world from that. So let's start with that because I know you've had some pretty specific situations recently with some people that you've been communicating with online. So tell us a little bit about your thoughts on really communicating with people online. Let's just start there.
Well, there's you always what my demographic is so far are about 11 to 15-year-olds. That's my demographic. So obviously not the most business savvy people. So I've had some experiences where they've been like, "Oh, you can animate. So can you do an animation for me?" And that's ended up with me saying, "Okay, that'll be $300," and then them going, "Oh, you're so greedy," and that's not a very business savvy way to go about things. Calling people greedy, that's an insult. So you obviously have to have some level of maturity when going into a business. You can't just go willy-nilly. And another thing that I noticed is that these kids, these 12-year-olds, were willing to pay me up to $75 to get an animation for them without the parents' consent. So that shows another thing. You gotta, you can't just go out this alone. You have to involve your parents and stuff if you're younger, on
Right.
the younger side. So
Right. Because you also had a situation with a very much older person. We won't go into the
yes,
details, but this older person was quite inappropriate. And so a lot of that kind of communication and the thought process from a 12-year-old and getting online and being exposed to all of these things, like when they're watching your Twitch streams or if they're communicating with you online, they have no idea. They really are not. mature enough to understand some of the implications and some of the language that people might use to get them to possibly do things that they really don't want to do. So I'm sure what would be your message to parents then, as their kids are possibly getting online? What would you tell parents so that they can keep their kids safe?
Well, I would say to make sure that they're comfortable with bringing you into it as well, bringing the parents into it as well. They have to be comfortable enough in order to have a mature person there to guide them through it, because they don't know, they don't know how to act. You're not born with maturity like that online. You're not born with that, so they need to get mentored and taught how to act and behave in a business standpoint online and be professional instead of calling people greedy and insulting them. That's a very non-professional move right there. So they need to be comfortable, because all 12-year-olds go through phases where, they don't want to be associated with their parents. But in order to, A, not make a fool of yourself, and B, not be rude to people, you have to, be there to teach them how to act and how to behave online. And also to, of course, avoid the obvious, which is the older people not coming in, um, of course, to avoid that as well.
Yeah, doing inappropriate things. So what would you say to these parents though that are, they have a 12-year-old and the 12-year-old's like, "Ah, don't even want you to, walk into the school with me, let alone monitor something I might be doing or saying online because hey, everybody's cursing and what if I want to curse?" And I mean, this is what the 12-year-old's thinking. They're not going to say this out loud. What are you going to say to the parents who are saying, "Well, my 12-year-old doesn't even talk to me, let alone want me to see anything that they're doing online?" How do you suggest that parent get past that?
Well, I don't see. I believe that if you try to take away, like you take away baby's candy, they're gonna want the candy even more. So you can't just like, no, I'm gonna monitor you online all the time. You can't do that. You can't just say no. I'm just because I said so. That'll just make things worse.
Hmm.
So you gotta try to sit them down and have a talk with them about how maturity works, and hopefully if they listen to you enough, and are mature enough, then some of that wisdom that you tell them will rub off on them, and they'll think twice before asking someone to make an animation for them for $75. That maybe just try to just sit down and have a talk with them about, these are some things you need to watch out for, and warn them about the obvious, older kids making immature and, harassment and stuff like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, just try to have a talk with them, and hopefully it'll rub off on them. But, I think the best way to learn is by experience, so obviously, sometime in your life, you're going to have an experience where you're going to have to learn from it. So, just you can't prevent everything, but
Right.
try to help them prevent it themselves. Try
Right.
try any way you can to
Right.
just sit down and get through to them.
Right. And
During dinner.
before they actually need it. So
Yeah,
hopefully when they're in a situation, it might pop up. Oh, that's right. Mom said something about this, or dad said
yeah,
something about
exactly,
it. Right.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
so before they actually need it, if your kids are actually getting online and they're joining some of these, like they're on Steam, or they're streaming on Twitch, or they're seeing all these different things. What's that other besides it's that alternative to Skype? What was that called? Discord?
Discord. Yeah,
Yeah.
Discord.
So, Discord, I had no clue what that was. So it's an alternative to Skype. So you can actually have private video conversations with
Yeah,
people on Discord.
yeah,
So before they actually start getting into that, if you start seeing your kids doing that or getting into that, especially if they have a computer in their own rooms. So when
yeah.
you were 10, when you were 11, 12, 13, you didn't have a computer in your own room.
No, not at all.
No, the computer you had was available with mom.
Yeah,
Um, so that I could monitor. It wasn't a question of, can I go into your room,
hmm,
Riley, and
hmm,
watch you do Twitch? That
yeah,
wasn't even an option. The only way you
yeah,
could do any of those things was in front of me.
yeah.
So why was that beneficial to you?
Well, it it let me face those challenges when I was more mature, because I didn't face them when I was 12, when I was going through all those other things of like I hate my parents and all that, whatever. I'm able to face it now, all those problems where I'm more mature and I'm able to take a step back and look at it from another standpoint of, these aren't just, you know, like kids that I want to impress or people that I want to, be my friend. I can take a step back and see that these are other human beings that have their own motives. And, I need to look out for some of the motives.
Hmm. Yep. And Power Parents, I got to tell you, Riley. I mean, these words he's using, most younger people don't. Like mentoring and demographic and all of those kinds of things. How did you know about demographics and
Well,
mentoring? Why would you
yeah,
use those
well,
terms?
well, I have my mom to thank for that.
Well, I wasn't fishing for that, but I was going to tell them, I only, he came out this way. All right. He came out amazing like this. I only got to be lucky enough to be here to hopefully guide. So let's just leave it at that. Yeah, he came out this way. He's amazing. So, but thank you for that. I appreciate that. And you want mom to hire you for more animations too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay. So we talked a little bit about maturity. We talked a little bit about being able to be available to your kids so that when these kinds of things happen, you can hopefully help guide them through it. So what's the next thing? So how you've got this business, how in the world, what are your goals? Okay. So let's start there. What kind of goals do you have? You have this business, you've done an animation, you've done some animations for me. Where do you see this going? Why are you in this whole online world?
Well, for the my business, I'm actually going to go to college for animation. So, and that'll open up limitless possibilities for my hobby, my interests. I can work on I can work on films. I can be a freelancer. You know, I could really do anything I want to. Which I think is great. And I see myself as I'm going through the animation school, um, finding what I really want to do in animation because I really enjoy animating. And going through the school will show me what in animation I really want to do because animating is a really broad subject that has a lot of fields in it. So I believe that going to school will help me understand what my true goals are. But I hope to, yeah, just go to school and understand what I want to do. But as for the Twitch, my other online activity, my goals are to build a community around myself, and not like most people. I think this is where most people have a kind of have it kind of wrong is that they always look for I want to be famous. I want to be famous, I want to get money, I want to do all that. But if you're streaming, you shouldn't want to stream for the money. You should do it because you enjoy it, you know? Like I stream because well, I talk to myself when I play games, so I might as well just stream it, you know?
Hmm.
Um and So I just started streaming. It's a nice way for me to relax. I'm just playing games, and if people want to join me, then they can. And it took me, like 5 months in order to get an actual following of 20 people um, that actually enjoy my content. But that's really what I wanted is a small following that really enjoys what I do, and are there. I could be supportive of them. They could be supportive of me. If they have any problems, they could come onto my stream and say, hey, I just blah 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 blah, and I can say, oh, that's too bad. Then come here and relax and join the community. That's what I really want. I don't want to do it for money. I don't want to do it for fame. I think that's I don't think streaming and doing things online is that centered. Like the business, of course I want to animate for money, but I don't want to just animate for money. I want to animate because I enjoy it.
Hmm.
you know um but if I could get money, that's a very big bonus, but I'm not doing it just for money.
Right.
And even more for streaming. I don't anticipate living off streaming. I anticipate just doing it for fun. um so I believe that most people, their goals are more money based, whereas it should be more pleasure based. Do what you enjoy, and if you can make money out of it, then that's a very big bonus.
And so when you're doing this, how do you know that the people that are just doing this for money and they're not trying to build a community and trying to do this for enjoyment? What are the clues that you see?
Well, I see people see there's a lot of streamers are exactly the same as one another. They all say don't forget to follow, and don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to donate. And they all push people to donate and subscribe and follow and do all these things, give them money. And they all say the same exact things, like, hey, don't forget to donate and stuff like that. They all say the same exact things. And I think they say those things because they're like, oh, this person says it, so that must be why they're getting money. So I'm going to copy this person, even though the reason why people get money is because they're unique and people want to find unique things. And if you just copy this other person because they're getting money, then you're not being unique. And
Right.
number two, you're just trying to bait people into giving you money. You're like begging them for money if you say stuff like that. And that's just uncomfortable
Right.
and just wrong.
Right.
So I think if you I think those are the signs of if you want to do it for money.
So, what I hear you saying, and Power Parents, I think you've heard this many times before, is that don't just do something because someone else has done it. So, don't just follow, we call it, Riley, we call it chasing squirrels, or we call it the shiny object. So and so is doing this and they're making tons of money. So, I've got to do it too. It's that kind of concept. And especially when you do something like that, you're right. You're no longer yourself. You may enjoy that. Like me now, I'm really enjoying Messenger, right? You know that. But not everybody will enjoy that. They might be able to use it in their business, but it doesn't mean they're going to have to make a business out of it themselves.
Yeah.
So find the things that you enjoy, find the things that will help bring out your uniqueness. And oh my goodness, you poor thing, it took you 5 months. How
Yeah.
terrible. We're
Yeah.
not talking about 20 years here.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
talking about 5 months, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
And some
okay.
people, and some people that I'm on, like there's an example, they have this giveaway, right? Giveaway for an in-game currency, right? They're going to give away this in-game currency. Do you know how you enter the giveaway? You need to donate $1. That's not a giveaway. That's not a giveaway. Okay. Okay. And his titles are always like, oh, big giveaway in all caps, and come join me and play and give me money. Not give me money, but
Yeah,
like
but
donate. He literally
yeah.
says donate in all caps. So that is saying give me money.
Yeah.
So, and this person, he's been streaming for like a month now. And Twitch, they have this feature where they show you your total views like forever. And I have about 1,000 total views, 1,100 about. And I've been streaming for 5 months. So that's like, I've been going hard and I finally have 20 followers, and it took me that long and that many people to actually watch me to get 20 followers.
And the
this guy,
practice that it took you.
yeah, and the practice. And this guy has like 34 total views, and he's been streaming for a month, and he's complaining that he doesn't get any followers or anything. And it's like, number one, you're just doing what everyone else is doing. So they come on your stream and they see, how do you get this free giveaway, and you have to donate $1? That's just not a giveaway. That's not a good business practice. So they leave. Number two, you're just have been doing it for a month now. So of course you don't have that many followers. I didn't have that many followers when I did it for a month. I didn't have any followers. No one watched me.
Yeah.
You're lucky that I found you.
Right.
So
And
yeah.
not only that, how unique is he?
He is not very unique at all, because he says, don't forget to like and subscribe and donate and stuff like that. He says the exact same things as everyone else.
Yeah.
And he also plays the number one played game on Twitch, which is Fortnite. And that means how you search up for games on Twitch is how you search for people on Twitch, is you search for the games that they're playing. So there's, so many hundred thousands of people playing Fortnite, and he's one of them with no viewers.
Right.
So no one's going to see him.
Right.
There's so many other people with no viewers. So he's just one in like 1,000 of people who are just streaming the same thing, and no one's going to see you. You have to be unique. I like to one of the things I think is why I have gotten such a following is because I found a game that no one really streams on Twitch, which is called Watch Dogs. No one really streams that game because it's kind of old. So I started streaming it because I enjoy it. I thought, hey, I'll stream this. Maybe people might join on. And I got 20 followers from streaming Watch Dogs. Not only do I stream Watch Dogs, that's the only game that I think brought in people, but I also animate on my streams and I play my trombone on my streams. So I think those three things combined is playing a game that not many people played and doing creative things that are unique to me really got me enough followers, because people join my stream and they stay because they see that I'm interesting, and they see that I'm unique and I'm not just like everyone else.
That's right. And so you, when you say you animate, so you just basically are doing your homework. So like I know
Yeah,
you have a French class and you have
yeah,
a project that's due for French. And instead of just doing the basic slides that, you know,
yeah,
could easily do
like
just slides
PowerPoint.
on PowerPoint, right? You are actually doing audio with your amazing microphone, which of
Yeah,
course you keep telling me is better than mine.
it is. Yeah,
And then you animate the slides that you create, or you animate the presentation that you've created,
yeah,
and you actually show yourself and how you're doing that on Twitch.
yeah,
And then you might get bored of that, or you might get bored of playing the game, and instead of just ending the game and saying see you later, you go, hey, you know, I'm going to play my trumpet or my trombone a little bit. So you just get
yeah,
your trombone and start playing.
yeah,
Or you ask people, or you have some music playing in the background, you know, during a low time in the song in the game, and you say, you know, hey, let's take some music requests. What other music would you guys like to hear? And then you play that music.
yeah,
So that is unique. You're not just sitting there going, hey, I'm playing the most popular game that anybody can play on Twitch. So I'm playing the exact same game as everyone else, and there's only one way to play the game, right? Everybody's got to
yeah,
play the game the same way. And
yeah,
that's all I'm doing. And then I'm going to tell you to like and subscribe and donate money to me,
yeah,
just like the thousands of other people that are doing that exact
yeah,
same thing.
yeah,
So you're
exactly.
doing something unique to you. You're doing it something where it's a unique game that you enjoy, and you're adding your own personality into it by
Hmm.
playing your trombone and by showing how you
Yeah,
animate your homework. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is so completely relevant to what every single power parent in the audience is doing right now, because all of us are trying to create our own businesses and all of us are trying to get attention. And right now that is the most um, valuable commodity, and that is attention. Online, that is the most valuable commodity, is attention.
mm-hmm.
And so what I hear you saying is it's not important to you to get hundreds and hundreds of thousands of followers doing the same thing that everybody else is doing.
Hmm.
How important is it for you to have a community, a smaller community of committed, kind people who care about each other?
I think that's very important. And that's why I started Twitch. Was, well, like I said, because I talk to myself while I play games, and I mean, I might as well. But I really wanted that community. I don't want hundreds of thousands of people. I just want a small, maybe a couple hundred. Even 20 is fine for me. I don't really care the number, but just a small community of people who are kind and friends.
Care for each other. Yeah.
Yeah,
What a concept.
yeah.
And so, with that in business now, how does that translate to your business? So, you're looking at, you know, one of the things you said to me, I've got to ask you, tell me what you think about mindset, because you talked a little bit to me earlier about mindset and how that has made all the difference for you. How does mindset impact your life?
Well, see, I thought about it like this, and there's a mindset of the reason why this guy got popular and the reason why this guy is making so much money is because he got lucky. He got lucky, and that's the only reason why he got popular. And if I try to emulate him, maybe I'll get lucky, but I doubt it. I'll never get popular. I'll never get like him. I'm not lucky enough. That's what most people think. But what I think is I enjoy doing this. I'm going to do it. People will come onto my streams, and if I'm doing something interesting enough that makes them happy and they enjoy it, then they'll stay around. If they don't enjoy it, then they'll leave. So I'm building my own community of people who enjoy what I'm doing. And I don't think that it's just because of luck. I think that it's because it's just anyone could do it, really. There's no luck or anything. Anyone could do it. You just find something interesting. Like, I was streaming, and this guy came on and he was like, oh, hey, you play the trombone really well. And I'm like, hey, nice. Do you play any instruments? And he said, I play the drums. I play in hard rock. I play hard rock drums. And I said, that's really cool. Do you stream it? And he was like, no, I don't. And I'm like, you should totally stream that. I would watch the heck out of that. That sounds really awesome. How many people are streaming them playing drums and hard rock drums, which is a pretty intense drumming session right there.
Yeah.
Um, how many people are streaming that? None. I would watch the heck out of that. You would be famous like really quick, because no one else is doing that. Anyone could do it. And I feel like what other people would say was like, don't stream, keep watching me. I don't want any competition.
That's
You
right.
know, I feel like that's what most people would say. But like, I'm not playing the drums. He's playing the drums. There's no competition in that. If he was playing the trombone, so what? Maybe he could bring other things to the table. Like I'm not the best trombone player. Maybe he's even better than I am.
Well, and you guys could even stream together and
Yeah.
do some harmony,
Yeah,
right?
we could totally stream together. Yeah, that would be
Even if
that
you
would be really
even if he
fun.
did play the trombone. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like we were talking about before, there's enough to go around.
Yeah.
There's billions of people out there. It's not like you have to have only you, everyone has to just pay attention to you and you can't support anyone else. So it's
Yeah.
amazing that your mindset, what you're talking about, and again, Power Parents, he came out this way. All right. So I didn't go and stand in his room and say, you have to learn about mindset now, son. Right. So
Yeah.
you understand, you believe that to support other people and to be unique and to be yourself is all that's required to create the life that you have the power to create.
Yes.
It's not luck that's going to
No.
create the life that you want to create.
No.
It's your uniqueness, your talents, your strengths, your drive, your practice, all those things that you do is you have the power to create your own life based on that.
Yeah, and if you be yourself instead of trying to emulate everyone else by saying don't forget to donate and stuff, if you just be yourself and do what's interesting about yourself, then people will eventually show up on your stream. Like even that kid, like the kid who's doing the donation, the free giveaway where you have to donate $1. People show up on his streams, and once he tells them that you have to donate $1, they leave.
Right.
So people will show up on your streams no matter what,
Right.
but they will only stay if you're being unique.
Right. Right.
So if you just be yourself, then those people who show up on your stream, they'll stay. And people who show up on your business, they'll stay. If you're just doing what everyone else does, then they'll leave. People will eventually show up. It's just whether they stay or not.
That's right. And they'll stay because you are unique. You are yourself. They can see that you are genuine. This
Mhm.
isn't just a show. You're not just acting and trying to get them to do things. And so they might show up the first time and go, oh, yeah, that's kind of cool. But the second time they show up, if you're consistent, you do the
Mhm.
same things again, or you're true to yourself again, then they'll keep showing up on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Even the people, I know there's one person that you have as a regular that, doesn't really communicate as well as you might like,
Yeah.
right? Or as
Yeah.
kindly as you might like.
Yeah.
But you don't respond in kind, right? You don't respond the same way he does.
Mhm.
You stay true to yourself
Yeah.
and say to him the things that you expect others to say to you.
Yeah. Like for example, he told me that he didn't like the music I was playing. And I was like, all right, well, what music do you like? He was like, oh, I like this electronic music. And I'm like, all right, I'll play it. What do you have any songs that you want me to play? And he's like, oh, I want you to play this song instead of the song you're playing. I'm like, oh, okay. So I played the song for him, and I was like, oh, that was pretty cool. That had a nice groove to it. I could dance to that.
Yeah.
And then I went back to playing my own songs.
Yeah. Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
you don't you don't yeah you don't tell him like, oh no, your music is trash or my music is better, like he was telling me. You just
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. You support, and it's like the golden rule. Do unto others how you would want them to do to you.
Yeah.
Don't do unto others the way they do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So that mindset basically is also extending to the jobs that you might want to get. And you kind of alluded to that a little bit. And you talked about how you could pretty much do anything. And one of the things that college is going to allow you to do is find out what kinds of possibilities are available in animation.
Yeah.
So how does that mindset relate to not just the job, but life in general? I mean, what do you look forward to? I mean, I'm not going to ask you where you're going to be 10 years from now, because that's kind of something you can't really imagine, right? I mean, it's difficult to think of yourself now that you're 16.
Yeah.
You think of yourself as 26. You have no frame of reference for that, right?
Yeah.
So, so I'm not going to ask that, but I am going to ask how does that mindset relate to your life as it unfolds, not just your job, but the other parts of your life?
Well, one thing that I'm gonna say is kind of bringing back to the job is in the animation, I don't think of like what can I do if I go to college. I think about I don't think about like whether I can or can't do it. I think about like what should I do, you know?
Mhm.
It's not whether I can do it, it's whether what I want to do, you
What
know?
options? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that translated into life, you know. If you want if you want to live somewhere, buy that apartment, buy that house, don't think about whether you can, think about what will get you there, you know?
How it's going to
Yeah,
happen.
how to get there,
Right.
you know? Like
Right.
I don't think about like, oh no, I can I actually animate this? I think about like, all right, where am I going to go to school so I can learn how to animate this? And I think about, where, what am I going to have to do? What am I going to have to save up to buy this house or buy this car or buy this other thing, What it's not thinking about, oh, I don't know if I'll be able to. It's thinking about what should I do? Like whenever I go into a problem, like I go into a math problem, right? I'm in pre-calculus. So I go into a math problem and I don't see it as like, oh man, this is so hard. I don't know what I'm going to do. No, I think about like, okay, what should I do first? You know, you think, what should I do first in order to get this job done? You don't think about, oh, I don't think I'll be able to do it, or can I even do this? You think about, all right, what should I do first? And that's what you do in business. In the business, I think about where should I, I don't think, like I said, I don't think can I even animate this? I think where should I go to learn to animate this?
Right.
So I think that could be translated into all aspects of your life.
Exactly. Like when Neil came to you and said, "Hey, I think I might want to hire you to create this animation for my daughter's birthday." You didn't go, "Oh, I don't know if I can do that. I don't think I can do that." You immediately thought, "Well, let's see. How am I going to do this?"
Yeah. What do you want me to do?
Right. What program am I going to use? How much am I going to have to draw? What
Yeah.
kind of figures do you want it to look like? You
Yeah.
know, all you started breaking down the problem
Yeah.
and approaching it one step at a time. You didn't look at it as a whole huge problem that you didn't even think you could accomplish
Yeah.
or that you needed luck to
Yeah.
accomplish,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And so, what about? We were talking about this earlier too. What about where you might want to live in the world?
Well, um, because I have such an amazing mom right here, um, I'm thinking because the online animation is this animation school is online. Um, I'm thinking like, I'm thinking like what I can do to save up to join my mom when she goes to Europe for a month because she will do that and rent a Tesla in Italy. She will do that.
Try
I'm thinking,
Norway. Try
yeah,
6 months, dear. Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm thinking, what I'll have to do to take steps to do that. And I'm thinking joining this online school will help me do that. Joining this online school will help me go down to my grandpa's house and live by my grandpa's house in Bodega Bay.
Right.
Joining this online school will give me more free time at home, more relaxation time, a better life, basically. So, I don't think about like, oh man, I need to go to school and this is only all set in stone and I'll be so lucky if I ever get to go to Europe. No, I think about, all right, what do I have to do to live the life that I want to live? And I take the steps and I go, okay, I need to do this and this and this, and I do those things.
Right.
It's not whether or not, oh, I'll be so lucky if I get to ever go to Europe and I get so lucky if I get so much money that I'm afford to go to Europe. No, it's what do I need to do to get the enough money to go to Europe with my mom?
Yep. That's it. And your dad. He'll probably be there too.
And yeah, and my dad.
All we have to do is think about where we're going to put the pups. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
We'll have to figure that one out.
yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. And also, Power Parents, I can guarantee you one thing that next time Riley's angry with me, I'm going to cue up this audio so that he remembers what an awesome mom I
Oh
am.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yes, all right, that is exactly, and that is not the mindset that I was raised with. That is not the mindset that Daddy was raised with. It was not even on our radar to travel like that, whether it's Europe,
Yeah.
whether it's Asia, whether it's the African continent. It was not even. That was something you saw on television. That was
Yeah.
not something you actually got to do.
Mhm.
So everyone, when we did go to Europe, everyone, their comments, everyone that we know, their comments were wow, what a trip of a lifetime, as if we
Yeah.
were never going to get back,
Yeah.
right?
And
As
we're
if
so
that was it.
lucky to do it the first time. Yeah.
Yeah. And I do consider myself very lucky to be able to do that, but we
Yeah.
had to work to make that happen.
Yeah. It wasn't just pure luck. You had to actually do something,
Yeah.
it's these people aren't famous because, they're luck, they found their niche and they found the creativity that people enjoy to see. And, creativity inspires fame and fortune.
Yes. And Power Parents, again, I did not teach him the word niche. I did not teach him the word mentor. I think he's just by osmosis walking out here listening to me. That's another benefit of having this podcast out in the main area of our house and not back in a bedroom with the door closed or in an office with the door closed. Every time he comes out into the kitchen, he hears me talking about this stuff or hears something that I'm listening to about this stuff, and it rubs off and it changes mindsets. You have to start with your own, however. Your
Yeah.
kids, you can't have an expectation of what your kid's life is going to be until you have your own expectation of your own life. So I'll take that credit of just
Yeah.
changing my own mindset, changing my
Mhm.
own attitude toward life, and giving you an example of that.
Yeah.
But beyond that, you get to take it as far as you can take it. It's
Yeah.
just going to be amazing. I can't even wait to watch and see where your rocket ship goes.
Yeah. I think that brings back to the old saying of try to emulate your friends and learn from your enemies. Where if my parents have a good mindset, then I'm going to try to emulate that. And I meet some people online where they say don't forget to like and subscribe, and they get no followers, and that's very uncomfortable to me. Trying to say those types of things. Then I'm going to not do that. I'm going to be more like my friends and the people that I trust and the people that I enjoy being around, and I try to um, learn from other people's mistakes and other people's faults, and try to improve myself based on that.
And exactly. So, what I hear you saying is there may be some people online that, like the guy who was commenting that, oh, your music sucks. Why are you playing that
Yeah.
music? You're not going to communicate that way because you know how that made you feel, right?
Yeah.
And that was kind of uncomfortable to be not very nice. So
Yeah.
you're going to respond in the way that makes you feel comfortable, and you're going to learn from that person's response that that's not the way you want to communicate. So you
Exactly.
can learn from your quote enemies or the
Yeah.
people that
Yeah.
are not comfortable to you. You can learn from them, if nothing else, what not to do.
Yeah.
And then the people that are comfortable that you surround yourself with, you definitely emulate the positives that they have and incorporate those into your life as well.
Exactly.
Wow. All right. All right. So, I would love if you, Power Parents, were able to chat with Riley or ask him questions because many of you have children much younger, and they're going to be coming up to this time frame. 16 years old is really when they start to drive. I got to break the news to you. You are no longer the center of their universe,
Mhm.
and they will be off doing all kinds of things. So, if yours are younger, there's a big gap between where you are now and what Riley's doing. But I have a feeling the more you um, live the life that you really want to live, create the business, create the family structure, create the flexibility that you really want, um, the more your kids will emulate that. And I am just a proud mama sitting here right now, again to tell you that he came out this way. I just get to guide him, hopefully by the hand, and watch as he soars. I just can't even wait to see what that's going to be like. So, Mr. Riley, thank you so much for joining us on this podcast. Is there one last little piece of advice you'd like to give the parents out there about how they can help their kids create an amazing life for themselves, like we've been talking about? Isn't there any last little piece of advice you'd give the parents?
Well, I think that for the kids, you can only teach so much. But I think the best way to learn is by failure. So you can only teach so much, and expect your kids to fail and make mistakes, but then expect them to learn from those, because that will happen. You can't control every aspect of their lives, and that's how they're going to learn, is by you not controlling every aspect of their lives. So as much as it's nice to guide them, they have to learn on their own. Got to let the
And
bird leave the nest and all
is
that.
that from personal experience, sir?
That is from a lot of personal experience. Yes.
I know. And I'm telling you, Power Parents, that is the hardest thing you will ever do. If you thought potty training was tough, wait till you see your child going through difficulty and you do not or cannot fix it for them. Um, that is the hardest thing you will ever experience. So that was a great closing piece of advice. Thank you, sir. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. I know this was kind of on a whim that we started talking about this stuff, and I'm so glad that we were actually able to record it. We're going to be doing maybe a few Facebook Lives together sometime soon and kind of chatting about this stuff. But in the meantime, where can people find out more about you? And if they want to maybe see what you do in animation or Twitch or anything like that, where can people find you?
It's Riley_Bones on twitch.tv/Riley_Bones. That's my Twitch. That's where I stream. And then we could go to RileyBones.com. No spaces, no dashes, just Riley Bones. And that's my website, which is where I have a portfolio and even some pictures that I took. So you can go check that out if you want to see more about me.
Riley Bones, BONES.com, and it's RILEY. And you can see what he's been up to and connect with him and maybe send your kids. That's definitely a Twitch channel that is going to be productive for your kids to participate in.
No explicit content there. Not at all.
Nope, not at all. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Mama.
To get powered up for your day, just go to parentepower.com and listen to the over 200 episodes we have so far with amazing entrepreneurs just like you. It might just help you feel like a grown-up again.